Hey everyone, Living Free Ashley here, and today we're making a super tasty butternut squash cocoa chili. I know it sounds super weird, but it's really good. I was a little skeptical the first time I made this, but the cocoa really does enhance the flavors, so let me show you how it's done. In a large pot over medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil or broth if you're going oil-free. Next, add in 2 cups of diced butternut squash. The last time I got a butternut squash, it was pretty big, so I just diced up what I didn't use and put it in the freezer. So I had all of this ready to go for this recipe. Once you have that in the pot, give it a good stir and let it saute for about 5 minutes or so until you start seeing some nice brown on the squash. Next, add in a half a cup of diced white onion, give it a stir, and then let it saute for a few minutes so the onions start to brown as well. Add in 1 cup of diced celery and half a cup of diced red pepper. Stir it up and let it saute for a few more minutes. Next is where it gets weird, but necessary. Add in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon or less of chili powder, depending on how much heat you like, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic, and 1 teaspoon of dried basil. And give that a good stir so all of the herbs and spices are coating all of the vegetables. Next, add in 1 796 milliliter can of crushed tomatoes. You can use diced tomatoes if you'd like to. And here I added about 1 cup of water. This is optional, just depending on how thick or thin you like your chilies. And I also find it's a good way to really use up all of the tomatoes in the can. And stir it up. Next, add in 1 540 milliliter can of black beans, drained and rinsed. And guess what? You're gonna stir it in. And then I added another cup or so of water, just because it was looking a little too thick for me. And stir it up, bring it to a simmer, and cover it with a lid. And you're just gonna cook it now from anywhere from 15 minutes up to an hour. Basically, you want to stop once all of the squash and the vegetables are tender. The longer you cook it, the more the flavors will be infused. So I think I did around 25 or 30 minutes. You just want to keep checking the squash and the vegetables as it's simmering, and you'll know when to stop. So once the chili was all ready to go, I added in a handful of fresh chopped basil and stirred it up. And there is your super flavorful, a little odd, but definitely yummy, fresh butternut squash cocoa chili. I serve mine with a little bit of vegan sour cream, just to add a little creaminess, and because I added way too much chili powder, so I needed to kind of calm it down a little bit. But it makes a really flavorful, protein-filled meal. Thanks again for watching another episode with me, Living Free Ashley, and cheers to living free.